Have you ever gazed at the night sky, lost in its infinite expanse, and wondered about our place in a story far older than we can imagine? A story etched in time, whispered through generations, a narrative that shapes our understanding of existence itself. The Book of Genesis is that story, a foundational text for civilizations across the globe. It's a tapestry woven with tales of creation, destruction, and the enduring spirit of humanity. A chronicle of beginnings, the very genesis of our world as we know it. It sets the stage for everything that follows, laying the groundwork for morality, law, and our relationship with the divine. Filled with mysteries that have puzzled scholars for millennia. These aren't just historical accounts, they're allegories, parables, and profound reflections on the human condition. Genesis chapter 6 describes a world, a canvas painted with both beauty and darkness. It's a world teetering on the brink, a society grappling with moral decay, where the boundaries between heaven and earth blur, where the celestial and the terrestrial intertwine in ways that defy easy explanation, where giants walk, beings of immense stature and power, their origins shrouded in enigma. They represent a force that challenges the natural order, a disruption of the divine plan, and corruption runs so deep, a pervasive rot that infects every aspect of society, poisoning the well of human potential. It grieves the heart of God. A profound sense of sorrow and disappointment emanates from the divine, a lament for a creation gone astray. Who were the sons of God? What was their purpose, their origin, their ultimate fate? Were they fallen angels, celestial beings who defied the divine will, or something else entirely, a lineage of powerful humans blessed with extraordinary abilities? And what of the Nephilim, those enigmatic figures who loom large in the ancient narratives, the mighty men of old? Were they heroes, villains, or simply products of a world grappling with forces beyond its comprehension? Amidst this darkness, a world consumed by wickedness and despair, one man stands apart. Noah, a beacon of hope in a sea of corruption. Righteous and blameless, a man of unwavering integrity in a world that had abandoned its moral compass. Walking with God when the world had lost its way, maintaining a steadfast connection to the divine in the face of overwhelming adversity. Genesis 6 is more than an ancient flood tale. It's not just a story about a cataclysmic event that reshaped the world. It's a profound exploration of choice, the decisions we make and the paths we choose to follow. Consequence, the inevitable repercussions of our actions, both individual and collective. And hope, the enduring possibility of redemption and renewal, even in the face of utter devastation. As we journey through these verses, as we delve into the depths of this ancient text, we confront the deepest questions about existence, purpose, the very meaning of life and our place within the grand cosmic order, and what it means to walk with God in uncertain times, to maintain faith and integrity when the world around us seems to be crumbling. Imagine a world fresh from creation, brimming with potential, a canvas of untouched beauty. Picture fertile lands stretching as far as the eye can see, and the first cities beginning to rise, monuments to human ingenuity and ambition. Yet, as Genesis 6 opens, a shadow has fallen. Darkness is already spreading like a creeping vine, choking the light. The vibrant promise of the world's dawn is being overshadowed by something sinister. Humanity multiplies, its numbers swelling across the land. But this growth is not matched by a corresponding increase in wisdom and virtue. The human spirit, once bright with potential, begins to dim. Instead, corruption and self-interest take root, like poisonous weeds in a neglected garden. The bonds of community fray, and the pursuit of personal gain becomes the driving force. The text paints a world where every intention of the human heart, every thought and desire, is only evil continually. There is no respite, no turning back, only a relentless descent into depravity. It's a total collapse of empathy and justice where the cries of the oppressed go unheard, and the scales of fairness are hopelessly unbalanced. Society unravels, its intricate tapestry torn apart thread by thread. Beauty is marred by cruelty, defaced by acts of senseless violence and disregard. And the promise of Eden, that idyllic vision of harmony and peace, fades into a distant memory, replaced by the harsh realities of violence and rebellion. This wasn't a sudden fall from grace, a single catastrophic event, but a slow, insidious erosion of goodness, a gradual wearing away of the moral fabric, poisoning the collective spirit, turning hearts cold and indifferent to the suffering of others. The world groans under the weight of its own iniquity, burdened by the accumulated sins of its inhabitants. The memory of Eden, a paradise lost, is now distant and unattainable, a stark reminder of what could have been. In this bleak and desolate context, the strange and unsettling events of Genesis 6 begin to unfold, hinting at something extraordinary and terrifying. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the atmosphere is thick with anticipation for a divine response, a reaction to the overwhelming wickedness. A desperate act, a radical solution to cleanse a world so utterly corrupted that has forgotten its creator, turning away from the divine and embracing the darkness within. The descent into darkness demands a reckoning, a final judgment upon a world consumed by its own wickedness. Into this shadowed world comes a cryptic passage. The sons of God saw the daughters of men and took them as wives. Who were these sons of God? Some say fallen angels, crossing a cosmic boundary for earthly desire, a rebellion against divine order. Others see them as the righteous lineage of Seth compromising with the ungodly line of Cain, diluting faith and accelerating decay. Either way, the result is the same, a catastrophic blurring of boundaries meant to be kept apart. This union was not a beautiful merging, but a corrupting fusion that unleashed new wickedness. It was a symptom of a deeper disease, a humanity choosing its own path, ignoring divine order. The consequences would be dire, setting the stage for chaos. The world was on the brink of ruin. The offspring of this forbidden union were the Nephilim giants, the mighty men of old. Their name, meaning to fall, hints at dread and downfall. These were not ordinary men, but beings whose strength and violence cast a shadow over the world. The Nephilim embodied the chaos and corruption of their age, amplifying fear and lawlessness. They were warlords and tyrants, famous for destruction, not virtue. Their existence was a physical sign of spiritual decay, a hybrid generation caught between worlds. The Nephilim's legacy was violence, their presence a symbol of what happens when humanity grasps for forbidden power. Their rise explains the extreme wickedness that demanded divine judgment. The world, overrun by their violence, was ripe for a reckoning. Genesis 6 marks a deeply poignant turn in the narrative. We shift from the grand sweep of creation to a focused examination of the human heart. It describes God's reaction, not anger, not a display of divine rage, but something far more profound, deep sorrow. A sorrow that cuts to the very core of his being. The Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, a statement heavy with the weight of disappointment, and it grieved him to his heart. The original Hebrew suggests a pain that is all-consuming, a wound that strikes at the deepest level. This is not a distant deity, detached and unfeeling, but a creator heartbroken, intimately connected to his creation, feeling its pain as his own. He is devastated by what his cherished creation has become, the violence, the corruption, the utter disregard for the divine image within each person. The decision to send a flood is not born from cold, calculated judgment, but from a place of profound grief, not cold judgment. It's an act of sorrow. It is a loving father, agonizingly unable to watch his children continue to suffer and inflict suffering in a world consumed by pain and wickedness. He sees no other way, yet even in the midst of such widespread corruption, in this sea of moral decay, one man stands out, a beacon of hope in the gathering darkness. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. He was different. Noah's righteousness was not perfection, he wasn't without flaws, but it was characterized by faithfulness, a consistent and unwavering devotion. It was a heart oriented toward God, actively choosing to walk with him in a world that was rapidly walking away. He chose obedience over the seductive pull of rebellion, he chose peace over the escalating cycle of violence, and he chose faith over the pervasive forgetfulness of God. God's decision to save Noah and his family was not merely an act of preservation, but an act of profound hope, a promise, a testament to the enduring nature of grace, that even when humanity collectively fails, God in his infinite mercy preserves a remnant, a seed of renewal. Noah's unwavering faith became the anchor, the solid foundation for the future of humanity. Through him, through his obedience and devotion, the story of creation, the promise of redemption, would begin again. God's command to Noah, build an ark, was an invitation to join the plan of salvation. Building a massive vessel on dry land required faith that defied logic and invited ridicule. The ark became a physical testament to Noah's trust in God's word over the world's doubt. Every detail of its construction was a lesson in divine order amidst chaos. While the world descended into lawlessness, Noah built a sanctuary of hope. The ark's purpose was to preserve life, Noah's family, and every kind of creature. God's judgment was tempered by mercy. He cleansed the world but preserved a seed of goodness. The ark floated above judgment, a promise that life would continue. This act culminated in a covenant, a symbol of God's enduring grace. Even in judgment, God provides a way of escape for those who trust Him. The story of Noah and the flood may seem ancient, but its themes echo today. We face giants of pride, greed, and indifference, spiritual maladies that persist. Genesis 6 asks, where do we place our faith in a drifting world? Noah's example calls us to righteousness. Not to earn salvation, but as a response to grace. His choice to walk with God set him apart from chaos. The ark is a symbol of hope, God's promise to preserve and redeem. This story invites us to build our lives with faith, to confront our own giants, and to walk faithfully with God. The choice remains with us, to be a remnant of hope in our generation.